Today is an interesting day here at Chrome Unboxed. We have not a Chromebook, but instead the Surface Duo here. And I know this thing's already been unboxed and actually reviews started going out today for it, but our purpose in having this device in-house isn't so much to review an Android device or review a Microsoft device, but it's to form some opinions on what it's like to use a small, pocketable, dual screen computer, because I think there are some implications that could come from this that could point us to a future potential Chromebook. Today's video is brought to you by our Patreon community. If you'd like to learn more about it and how to get plugged in, get access to behind the scenes footage, early access content, our private Discord server, and even an ad-free experience on the website, head over to patreon.com/Chrome Unboxed and you can learn more about this thriving and awesome community. Okay, so let's get into this thing. Again, this is nothing really about us reviewing a phone per se, but I think there's some interesting things that Microsoft is doing with this. And basically approaching the Surface Duo as a pocketable computer that has two screens. So they're really putting an emphasis on multitasking and dual displays without saying, hey, we're going to open this thing up and it's going to be one screen tablet. And I just think there's some really interesting ways that a Chromebook could make its way onto a thing like this, because this phone is really more of a Surface that makes phone calls and gets text messages. And Microsoft has not been shy about positioning it in that way. And when I heard that, when I first started thinking about this device, I thought that was super interesting, because that explains why it only has one camera. And from what the reviews say, the camera is pretty miserable. And so it informs a lot about how you approach this device, because this isn't trying to be the best Android smartphone, and clearly is not going to be, but it's trying to almost be something different. And it makes me wonder, I don't know, what that could be like if we were to talk about a Chromebook in that way. So we pop it open, and there is the device. We'll get right into it. Let's just take a look, see what's in here. Yep, so it comes with a little bumper. You peel some adhesive off, and this actually sticks around the edges. From what I understand, this is about a $30 or $40 accessory if you were to buy it, but you know, for a $1,400 phone, Microsoft threw it in the box, which is nice. And again, I almost don't want to refer to this thing as a phone, because it's like a little baby Surface that, you know, again, makes phone calls. SIM tray, very nicely packaged, very nicely packaged. So C-to-C cable, really nice, kind of hefty cable, and charging brick. So not a ton of extras in here. It is nice, again, that they gave a case in the box with it, because it's probably going to be a while before we see a bunch of cases come out for this particular device. It's going to be a unique thing to have to build a case for. Yeah, little charging brick here. So again, nothing out of the ordinary as far as a phone unboxing goes. And that's just not surprising here, because again, the focus is on this guy. And we're talking, I think, 5 millimeters thick per side. Amazing hinges and a crazy form factor, basically, is what we're looking at. And yeah, that thing feels really cool. And that's part of this whole thing. Like, this is a different device. This is something trying to be not just the next phone or the best Android phone, but just something unique. And I'm not even going to power this thing on yet. Well, I might power it on just to look at the screen. But from what I understand, the software that shipped out of the box on this is super buggy. They already have a release candidate and update that will fix a lot of that. But gosh, that hinge is so good. And that's kind of one of the things they really worked hard on, was to create a hinge that has some resistance to it, enough that, you know, you can stand it up, put it at any angle, and no matter where, it never really feels like it's trying to snap shut. It just moves perfectly and smoothly. And man, I can see where that's going to be super satisfying. You know, in that kind of book mode, dual screen kind of thing, flipping stuff back and forth, you know, flipping it here for typing on the bottom half. And again, it was hard to tell with different reviewers and other people who have unboxed it how huge the thing was going to be. It looked really wide in some people's hands. I don't have massive hands, but like this isn't out of control. If I flip it kind of in the one-handed mode, it's wide, don't get me wrong. That's a lot of screen real estate left to right, but you've got 3x2 or 4x3 screens. I can't remember what the ratio is here, but much squarer screens on the front than you would get on a standard Android device. So most Android devices have gone to like 20x9 or something like that. So these are much squarer. So even though they're only 5.6 inch screens, there's a lot more real estate going on there. But ultimately, we just wanted to get this thing out of the box, let you guys know that we have it, try to answer some questions if we can about it. But the whole point of this thing is going to be to form some opinions about this as a computing device, not necessarily just as an Android phone. Because again, imagine the idea here, if this thing ran Chrome OS and you opened it up, and with Chrome OS's tablet mode and its ability to bounce stuff back and forth on multiple monitors and, you know, split screen mode and all that kind of stuff, you can kind of see where that would fit in really well on a device like this and could make for a really interesting form factor for Chromebooks. But I'm going to spend some time with it, see what Android's like on it, and form some opinions about what maybe it could look like in the future for a Chrome OS device to have this kind of look. So I can tell you though, it feels as good as it was billed. It is crazy thin, like just impossibly thin. Let me flip it around here. USB Type-C here. So imagine your USB Type-C port, not much thicker than that. So the build quality just feels amazing on it. And again, I need to power it on, software update, and all that kind of stuff before I make any comments about how the thing works. But I can tell you from an engineering standpoint, it feels awesome. And then just listen to this. That's satisfying. So this is really cool. It's going to be really interesting to spend a little bit of time with. And again, form some opinions about, I don't know, maybe perhaps a Chromebook one day looking a little bit like this. But guys, that's been it for this one. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, go down there and hit the subscribe button. And make sure to hit the notification bell as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one, and hopefully some content about this specific device. Till next time, we'll see you.